This episode of J Took Apple is made possible by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create your own professional website or online portfolio. Hey guys, it's Justin here, and today I've got the review for you of the Apple iPhone 5S. The iPhone 5S is the successor to the iPhone 5 and one of the S models that Apple releases every other year. As expected, the phone for the most part does look and feel the same, with a few notable changes including the home button and also a few things done to the camera as well. It is now also available in a champagne color, and they have actually changed the slate and black to a space gray and black, which I personally actually enjoy. The device itself does feel very premium as it did before, and inside we do have a few additional changes such as the Apple A7 processor with a 64-bit architecture, and quite a few people may just overlook this as it does have the same 1.3 GHz clock speed and also 1 GB of RAM, but according to the benchmark tests, it does actually prove to be 2 times faster than the previous processor, just as Apple claims. Though I will admit that the iPhone 5 and the 5S running everyday tasks will not see any difference whatsoever, and what the processor really does is just give it a little bit more potential for possible apps coming soon. Going back to the colors, you can see that the phone is still very beautiful, and they have now switched the slate and black to a space gray. I gotta say that the space gray is something that I've really come to like. It is a kind of color that is between a gunmetal and a dark gray, and it kind of seems like under light you can't really tell what kind of color it truly is, which really adds it a nice design factor. They do also have the silver and white like we saw last year, and they have also introduced a new gold color that I definitely can't wait to check out. But I will say that of all the new features, one of my favorite ones on the iPhone 5S is the Touch ID fingerprint sensor. When the leaks started coming out, I wasn't really a huge fan of it, but when it actually came out to the iPhone and I got my hands on it, I had to say it does work very well, and it actually speeds up the process of unlocking your phone, and it is something that I'm definitely used to from now on. On the front, of course, you do have the 4-inch 1136 by 640 resolution display, and although a lot of people were hoping for a larger display, I definitely didn't expect it to come this year, but more likely next year. Another step that Apple has made towards the future is iOS 7, with new features introduced such as Control Center, and yes, a lot of these are borrowed from Androids, but as a consumer, I do feel that I am benefiting from these new features, and you will definitely notice a new nice flat look thanks to Johnny Ive's help in the design department, and I have to say after getting used to it, I'm a pretty big fan of iOS 7 with all its new features, made it very handy, and there's also a new multitasking that makes it much easier to close background running applications, and that's just a few of the features, but I have to say I'm a pretty big fan of iOS 7. If you haven't noticed, Siri is also out of beta now. If first introduced to the iPhone 4S, it is now working much better, and I will say that it does come a long way from the iPhone 4S. It is very responsive, it works very well, and there are a few functions to it, and I find that Siri is much more able to talk to it. You can kind of just speak to it like a normal person, and it kind of is able to understand it better as it was before. So getting on with the camera, it does stay at 8 megapixels, however they have increased the sensor size by 15% now to 1.5 microns, and what that will do is let in more light into the sensor itself, giving you a better depth of field with the aperture now of f2.2, and it will also be able to capture details just a little bit better. Another thing that has seen a drastic improvement is the flash. It is now a dual LED flash with the white and amber light that kind of tried to sense the environment and give you a perfect combination of each of the lights to get you some amazing low light images compared to before. But looking at the camera, I will say that you wouldn't notice a huge difference compared to the iPhone 5, but it is definitely an improvement. I did notice that the camera was able to capture just a little bit of a better detail, and the pictures just look a little bit more vibrant, I guess. So it is a little bit of an improvement, but I wouldn't say it is a huge improvement if you're coming from the iPhone 5. However, when we look at the low light images, you'll definitely notice a huge improvement, and if you're going to be taking a lot of low light images, it would definitely be a good reason to switch to the iPhone 5S. The front-facing photos look good as they did before, and the camera quality of the videos do look pretty good as well, and there really isn't a huge change there, though when putting it side by side, I did notice that the iPhone 5S and its new sensor was able to capture just a little bit of a better detail and also color. The greens you can see kind of pop out really nicely, and I did notice that the audio recording was pretty much the same, so in general, in terms of the video quality, you won't really notice much of a difference if you're coming from the previous generation. And of course, they have also added a 3x optical zoom while in live view. iOS 7 also saw some changes to the camera app itself. You can see it does have a much cleaner look. It allows you to swipe between the different camera options, photo, videos, square photo mode, which is very handy for Instagram photo takers, panoramic photo of course, and there is also one exclusive feature, the slow motion video. In terms of the photos, you still have all your regular settings, turning your flash auto on or off, HDR, and also to switch from the front and the back facing camera. Your video, you still have all those options that you saw before as well. There's also some live color filters now, and I tend not to use these as they don't really look that good. I'd rather just edit it and post within, again, Apple's camera app. And you go back and there's also a photo burst mode, which allows you to take quite a few photos continuously and allows you to select the best one. And there's also one thing that they introduced only to the iPhone 5S, which is slow motion video. And what this does is allow you to record 120 frames per second videos and select which section you like slowed down. It actually looks very good. The quality still looks great, and you'll see in some of these clips how well it works. Before we head out, let's take one last look at our sponsor. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create your own professional website or online portfolio. They're constantly trying to improve their platform with new features, new designs, and even better support. They already have very beautiful designs for you to start with and all the style options you need to create a unique website for you or your business. And they also have an amazing support team that works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in the event you need help. Every design also includes a unique mobile experience that matches the overall style of your website, so your content will look great on every device every time. The plans start at just $8 a month, and it even includes a free domain name if you sign up for a year. For JTech Apple viewers, head over to the link to start your free trial now, no credit card required, and if you would like a discount on your first purchase, please use the coupon code JTech10. So my final thoughts of the iPhone 5S are actually pretty positive. If you currently own an iPhone 5, there are a few features that could draw you towards the 5S, but for the most part, I would say to stick with your 5. Some of the features that would make it worth it, however, are the much faster processor. You may have seen that the 5S actually shattered a lot of these flagship phones out there in the market, but we have to note that stuff like the Samsung Galaxy S4, which the iPhone 5S actually doubled in some categories, is about 6 months older, and we will be seeing a refresh in 6 months from those. But I have to say the 5S performed much better than I expected it would, and for applications coming out in the future and very graphic intensive games, it will definitely be able to take advantage of that. Another good reason could also be the camera. Though you don't see a huge difference, a few notable differences are the low light situations. It is able to take some much better photos there, and if you definitely want to use the slow motion feature, you'll need the iPhone 5S. But aside from that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.